What's the first thing you think about when you see someone with poor posture, where their shoulders are rounded forward, they have a lot of rounding in their upper back, and their head is pushed forward? It's probably that person needs to stand up straighter, right? Well, a lot of the advice around this idea of standing up straighter and getting more of a straight back is to recruit or activate or strengthen the muscles on the backside of the rib cage, specifically the muscles that help pull the shoulder blades back. And it makes sense to strengthen those muscles with weight training exercises like rows. Problem is, almost no one does them right. And I know that's a bold claim, but hear me out. What's the most common advice that you see someone giving when teaching a row? You can think about any of the exercise videos you've seen, tutorials on YouTube, etc. It is to squeeze the shoulder blades back, right? I disagree with that. And the reason being is that that's actually going to throw off the mechanics of how our arm needs to move with our scapula and how well we're actually going to be able to recruit the muscles on the backside of the rib cage. The arm and the scapula have a very intimate relationship, and they need to be able to work together as the arm goes through varying degrees of movements. So as I bring the arm back into extension in a row, what needs to happen is that the scapula needs to be able to externally rotate and retract and downwardly rotate. That has to happen throughout the range of motion of this arm going back into extension. The problem is that many people cue shoulders retracted and then row, but that makes absolutely no sense if you consider the fact that these muscles on the backside of the rib cage are the prime movers of the lift. The muscles that should be working the most are the bigger muscles, right? If we are already starting in a retracted position and then we're pulling the arm after that, all we're doing is we're putting these muscles in a shortened end range position, and now all the range of motion of the scapula is taken up, and we're relying on smaller muscles now to bring the arm back into extension. And that doesn't make any sense if we're trying to actually strengthen muscles back here and also pattern good mechanics of the scapula working with the humerus. So in order for us to have optimal mechanics of a row, and I don't care if this is a row where your elbow's going low for more lats or the elbow's going a little bit higher for more muscles in between the shoulder blades like the rhomboids, we need to be able to come from a place of relative upward rotation and protraction. Relative is the key word here. And as we come down into downward rotation and retraction, that is needing to happen over the period of that full range of motion, not right away. That's why it's important to let the shoulder come a little bit more forward at the end of the row and get a little bit of a reach. That does not mean that we do this. It just means that we let it come forward just a little bit to get that scapula in a position now where it can go through that full range of motion. Improving the mechanics and the relationship between the humerus and the scapula and how they work with the rib cage is a very important priority in my programs, like my beginner body restoration program and also my shoulder health program. If you want to learn more, you can check the link down below. Let me show you a couple of different tutorials and walkthroughs of different types of rows. I'll show you one for more focused on the lats and one for more the upper back muscles. All right, guys, now I'm in Australia, a little bit different of a location, but I want to demonstrate this horizontal row here. And I want to show you on this machine because it's going to be really easy to see what I'm talking about. And I know that you probably don't have this specific machine, but this will work for any sort of horizontal row. The principles will all be the same. So let's talk about what a bad row is and what most people do. Normally what people are going to do is they're going to squeeze their shoulder blades back first, and then they're going to row. And they're going to keep it like that the whole time. And if you do that, you're not allowing for those proper mechanics of upward rotation to downward rotation. You're just keeping everything squeezed, and now you're relying on smaller muscles like the rotator cuff to do all the work, and we don't want that. What we should do instead is get tall in our posture, but reach a little bit. Let a little protraction happen of the shoulder. So if you can imagine my hand is on his back right here, he's ever so slightly just reaching like that, and now he's gonna lead with the elbows back. That's what we're trying to get here. So that is what we want. Stopping just at the back line of our trunk right there. If he does that, he's gonna feel a lot more of his upper back working right here. Now, that's the key in terms of the upper back position. In terms of the hip position, we wanna make sure we're feeling our sit bones throughout the duration of that set. That will ensure our pelvis is in a good position. So one more time, let's show a bad one. Squeeze the shoulder blades back and then row. That's not what we want to do. Instead, now we can show a good one, nice and tall, little reach, and now come back leading with the elbows. Let the scaps do their thing on their own. Now let's just see another angle really quickly here. So what we were doing is more of an upper back focus because the elbow is a little wider. So we'll show that one more time.
Upper back?
Yeah, upper back. And then lead with the elbows back. That's what we want to see. What we don't want to see, let's show them a bad one now. Squeeze the shoulders back. That's not it right here. Good. Now, if we want to get a little bit more lats involved, then we could get more of a neutral grip right here, and we want to focus on dragging the elbow down into our back pocket. This is the cue we're looking for right here. If you do that well, even without weight, you should feel your lat turn on. So let's try that.
Good
Right
one.
there. Yeah, let's do a good one. Drag that elbow down and back. There we go. And then come back just like that. One more good one. Drag the elbow down and back. Great. And now let's do a bad one where you squeeze the shoulders back. Yeah, and now pull. Not what we want.